So we're going to get started with my oil zoom for October. Can you believe it's October? Well, I definitely can't. So what I'm really excited about is that we have some really, really good products coming to us this month, which is so good, particularly this Autumn Calm collection. Now we are focusing on kind of a gut theme today, but we just I could not bypass this Serenity Stick. And I know Wendy will absolutely do a beautiful job of sharing it because of the extra Valerian in there. So this Autumn Calm collection is such, I will be getting it myself, even though these are all oils that I have, but it's such a good value for those oils that we have quite heavy usage of. So as well as all of these seasonal gifts, it's always lovely to go and have a little browse of those. I now have that phenomenal oil, which I can absolutely say smells absolutely stunning. So the phenomenal oil is now past that season, also just drawing attention to that little one there. So the other thing I wanted to draw attention to, and this is, and obviously I know most of you already have oils in your lives, and are already enjoying their benefits and using them all the time. I just wanted to make you aware that you have got the opportunity, if you know someone who isn't yet using oils, who could benefit from actually just putting them to the test for a week, and trying them out for any of these areas that they've got issues with. You can send this QR, so you can take a little screenshot of it or take a photo. This QR code will allow them to register for the trial. It doesn't matter whether you are building a business with doTERRA or a customer who's using oils. It doesn't really matter. You can still share this with someone else. And one of the things I love about this trial is that it allows us to really bless people's lives in a short period of time and kind of open that door of hope, that there is something they can do, particularly when this is a long-term issue. So if you know someone that you care about has some of these things, then please do share. We would love to support them. And then you can always just kind of send them over to whoever introduced you to the oils if you're just using them for yourself, and they can support them along the way. So it was just one little flag for my oil trial, which is starting next Monday. And now I want to hand over to the lovely Carol Ann, who is going to talk to us about using oils for emotions. So over to you, Carol Ann.
Hiya. So yeah, these three oils I have been kind of making the habit of kind of fitting into my daily use. As for those that don't know, probably a lot of you don't know, I've kind of struggled with my mental health for probably about 20 years. So about half of my life it's been a big struggle, and I'm now want to go down the more kind of natural route. Um, these oils I've been kind of using lately, and I just wanted to share a couple of kind of powerful test um, experiences that I've kind of had with them. Recently, like I've had to cut back at work, like doing extra shifts, like because I've had a dip in my mental health. Um, yeah, I've just had it's just been too much, and I've just had to kind of watch. I've not been kind of overdoing it, and I'm trying to reach for my oils more. And one that helps me with the low mood is the wild orange. And one of the favourite ways I like to use this, excuse me, I've got the shakes as well, as you can see, that's how my anxiety affects me. Favourite way of using this is actually internally, which I have to be careful obviously with essential oils, but if you are to use it, no, like use it with the Terra and Wild Orange is one that's a safe way of doing that. I used that recently, just holding up to the roof of my mouth for 10 seconds. And honestly, I couldn't get through a call to work without bursting into tears. Using that, it just calmed me down. And ever since, I've not had any more kind of tearful episodes. Um, I've also found, like, just using it in general, it kind of brings my authentic self out. I'm quite bubbly, not like person, not like quite upbeat, and I find not like that helps bring not like my true self kind of out. So I am doing my best to get these and using them on a daily basis, because I do want to get down that more natural route, and it's something it's very kind of new to me. Kind of still, I've just started kind of doing it. I'm just trying to get into that habit. So that's the kind of wild orange. No, like say that's my favorite way, just internally. But also another way I like to use is just doing deep breathing. I find deep breathing is really helpful. And like for me, to calm me down. You know, like just helps kind of slow your breathing, just help you get grounded and just bring that peace. Adaptiv is another one that I've had like powerful experience with. You know, like one night I couldn't even get to sleep. I was really struggling to get to sleep. You know, like I don't know if anybody's had that kind of butterfly nervous kind of feeling in their stomach. I was getting that kind of in my chest and it just wasn't allowing me to get to sleep. So just out of the blue, I thought, try my Adaptiv, you know, like I think I had it as a roll on. You don't have that, you can use it with the fractionated coconut oil. I rubbed it over my chest because that's where I was feeling it. And just like magic, just went away and I just went back to sleep. And that just blew my mind kind of with that because sleep is, you know, like obviously so important. And then balance, I find is just a great one just for overall kind of support, general support as a foundation, like for your mental health. It's really quick and easy. I find one drop of that, soles of your feet, rubbing in, takes seconds, and it's just an easy way of using it. Also, like adding it to bath salts and having a nice soaking bath. You know, like that's a great way of kind of winding down at night as well. And yeah, no, that's just getting into a habit, kind of using them, no, like, because I want to just get into that routine, and I know it takes time to build up a daily habit, but so far, I know that I've had a good few days, and like, it really is kind of helping me. And that is somebody that struggled with their mental health for half their life. Like, it's making such a big difference to me.
Wow, thank you, Caroline. Thank you so much. I have these little slides, but actually, honestly, I
Mm.
don't think any of this can do any justice to what you've just shared. So thank you so much because your personal experience is way more than any of this. So we can share this after, but Caroline, that's beautiful. Thank you. And I love that you've actually dovetailed perfectly with leading into the importance of sleep. Come straight into Wendy, who's going to tell us about how to support with sleep.
Hi everyone, thank you. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about tonight about the Serenity Stick. I've had the Serenity Stick in our house probably about 6 months, not long after it came out in the States, and I've just got a second one from a lovely friend who can get products from the States, and then we get released here this month. It's absolutely amazing, the Serenity Stick. So when I heard this was coming out, I was a little bit skeptical because I've had Valerian essential oil, and anyone who's on the call that may have Valerian essential oil, it's like a Marmite relationship. It's a love-hate oil, I think. Might be just a nice way of describing it. My daughter absolutely loves it. Everybody else in the house hates it. It's like the stinkiest pair of football boots after being in a gear bag for 2 weeks. To me, that's what it reminds me of. As somebody just said in the comments, thank you, Natalie. Cheese feet. Yes, thank you. That's exactly, that's a perfect description. To the point that I was accusing members of my family for, can you please go wash your feet, when I didn't realize Rebecca was opening the Valerian bottle. However, just to put context to matter, my daughter is on the spectrum and she does have quite a lot of anxiety and worry and sometimes sleep issues. And she resonates extremely well with Valerian oil. I know you can take it internally as well. I used it once or twice that way, but she was diffusing quite a lot. But my goodness, it stinks out the whole house. It stinks out everywhere. But so they put it in, they mixed it with Serenity, and they've made a gorgeous stick out of this. And it's just amazing because if you think of Serenity, we had 8 oils and now we have the Valerian 9 essential oils there. So Serenity itself, for just calming the emotions, for helping ease yourself into a restful night's sleep, is just so good. I didn't think they could beat it with this stick, and it's quite a small little compact stick. And when I got it, I thought, it's a little bit small. It's not going to last us very long, but it's really durable. And so how we use it in our house is, we roll it on. I like to roll it onto my heart, on my chest, because all the oils in there, yes, they're calming to the physical body, they're calming to the mind, and they slow down all, our nervous system. They just help us switch off that mind at nighttime. And they really have huge emotional properties. So sometimes when people tell me, oh, they have loads of horrible dreams when they use Serenity, and I like to call them vivid dreams. I sometimes have those as well, but they're actually not a bad thing because you're really working on a deeper level emotions, and the oils will work on those levels even when you don't need them to. So we may use this stick to help us, get a more restful night's sleep, a better quality sleep. However, you are also working. So I do say to anyone, if you're not loving it, don't stop using it straight away. Try and work through it because there might be some deeper emotions there that the oils are working through for you. And you really do get a restful night's sleep. So the doTERRA added valerian to our Serenity, and valerian is an oil. It's from the root of the plant. So it's really grounding, but it's really well studied, really well researched over the years. And it's known, some of the research would indicate that it increases the amount of GABA in the brain. So, and GABA is like that neurotransmitter that sends our nervous system. It's like a little messenger that goes to our brain to tell the brain to slow down. Slow down. So sometimes when your mind is racing at night about all the things you didn't do or all the things you have to do tomorrow, and it's just you get really awake and you want to sleep. So that's why I find this really good. It just helps shut all that down and help you get a restful night's sleep. Research also backs up that you get a better quality sleep when you use this. When you use this, so quality is huge in your sleep. It's not really the amount of hours. Some people sleep for hours, maybe 8-10 hours, and they're really tired and exhausted waking up. So it's really important to get a good quality sleep. I challenge anyone that's listening to test yourself with your Fitbits or any kind of devices you have that measure your sleep quality at nighttime, and just check your deep cycles. And I find that the longer I use this, the more consistent I'm using it, my deeper cycles become longer and I have more of them during the sleep. That's one of the thing. And the other thing this is really, really good for, my lovely daughter loves this now as well, and it's way better than the Valerian. So we're not arguing about the aroma upstairs anymore. But also, what it really does do is it's brilliant for people who don't sleep well, broken sleeps. You can just rub it on at any time because it doesn't depend on the circadian rhythm. I think one of the most popular, I work with a lot of children or families that have children with additional needs, and melatonin is probably one of the most prescribed drugs that they tell me about for sleep. And it probably is the best out of a bad lot, but it is dependent on your circadian rhythm, whereas the difference with this is the Valerian is not. So it's really, I find it'd be really good for maybe shift workers, for people maybe with some jet lag. You might need it tonight, Lindsay, after your trip back from Greece early this morning. So sleep disturbances, that kind of thing. So again, it's really, really good as well to support maybe anxious feelings and low mood and things like that. So it's absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to hear all the testimonials. There's lots of ways you can use it. We predominantly talked about sleep here, but you can also use it during the day for calm feelings. There's loads of ways there. We predominantly use it at nighttime, but every now and again during the day. I popped it on just before I did this call, actually, just because I was really busy and I was running around and doing stuff, and it really just helped calm that nervous system down. So I highly recommend it, and I think lots of people are going to love it, and potentially even may. I sometimes take a Serenity soft gel, but if I missed the Serenity soft gel, I would know I missed it. Whereas now I just pop on the Serenity stick, and it just seems to fill in the gap and work really, really good.
Love it. Thanks, Wendy. Actually didn't know all that about it. Thank you. So we will be diving more into sleep because it's such an important topic for every aspect of health. We're going to be covering more about sleep next month. So that will be our core topic, is sleep. So definitely we'll be talking more about that, not just about oils and other things, but just everything around sleep. So definitely tune in for that one. So now I get to hand over to Jennie, who I love this photo of you, Jennie, by the way. I just want to say it's beautiful, to tell us about the product of the month for this month.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much, Lindsay. So I'm happily going to talk about Clementine. So many of us will probably use our citrus oils anyway, but this is one of those new ones that doesn't come out very often, but it's certainly very, very effective. So Clementine is pungent, refreshing and sweet, but it's a natural hybrid of mandarin, sweet orange and cold pressed from the peel. But it's sweeter and zestier than most citrus oils. So already I'm sure that conjures up many ways that we could think we could use it, in our water. So I'll touch more on that. But one of the important factors that we have to remember about these citrus oils, and this particular one, is it's rich in limonene. And so this exercise was a really good reminder for me, because obviously I use the citrus oils, but the importance of some of these compounds, which I'm going to share with you just as a reminder. So don't forget, limonene acts as an antioxidant in the body, absorbing and removing damaging free radicals and damaging cells. So that's one of the effects that it does. But it's also limonene's gastroprotective effects. It promotes the quicker movement of foods and gastric juices in the stomach. So that's why it's really good for our gastric and our stomach. So therefore, Clementine is excellent at supporting our metabolic function and health, as well as boosting the immune system. So to use it as one of our daily citrus oils, I mean, it's really important, I think, to not stick with one oil. So changing them around, you know, with wild orange, lemon, grapefruit, clementine, tangerine, green mandarin, all of them help with this digestive support. So the soothing, the supporting, the promoting, the cleansing of cellular health. So that's just one effect of, you know, using it in our system. But one of the most important things, I think, for me is our mood uplifter. And most citrus oils have that effect on us. I mean, many of us use the wild orange, so we know about the effects of using wild orange. But it's the main chemical compounds found in clementine it has that sedative and that anti-anxiety property. So it's stress relaxing as well as uplifting. So can you imagine when we're using it with our in our diffusers? And you know, I think a great way of using it would be to add a woody oil. You know, we know our woody oils are quite grounding, so therefore we already have this uplifting and this grounding ability. So we could use balance with it again, or we could use peppermint to uplift. But the other way is the internal juicer in the morning, adding it to our waters, our yogurts. I mean, I will share with you a couple of recipes, but I think lime and mandarin and clementine is a winner. It's a great one. But it's interesting with the uplifting, the mood support, that it's in quite a few of the blends. So when I had a good look around, it's in Thinker and Focus because of that effect. It's also in Citrus Bliss, and it's also in Motivate. So clearly it has those effects on the system. So that's it on those levels. But I thought I would just share. I said to Lindsay I would share a couple of DIY recipes, and one that I did use this morning.
Oh, I love that.
I know. Okay. So this is really simple to use. This isn't the particular one I made this morning, but I have made similar to this before. I think what you've got to remember when we're using these oils that we can really mix them about, but this is a real good one for the guts. I mean, you've got cinnamon and you've got black pepper and ginger, which are great for antispasmodic in there. So then if you're adding clementine in there, you've got a real shot around our guts. So it's a, you know, it's a really easy way to introduce it into our system. But the next one, this is my very own breakfast this morning, no less. So this is really simple. This is our on-the-go breakfast for me. You know, 1 egg, a handful of oats, a mushed up banana, mush up the banana, and a couple of drops of clementine, and then I use Madagascar vanilla in there, and then just put it on, you know, fry it up, and then as you can see, I added some yogurt, Greek yogurt, and some fruit, and then as much maple syrup. So as you can see, it's really easy to add clementine and these citrus oils to so many drinks and foods. Yeah, so don't be shy about, you know, trying these recipes out. Just concoct is what I say. And here's some other ways to use it. I've covered some of these, but the gentle detox, the uplifting side of things, but using it in smoothies or teas, you know, in the hot water, you know, mix them in with peppermint, for example. You know, there's so many ways to add these oils. Have them in the hot water in the morning is a good way. Add it with lemon. Leather, I haven't tried that one. Clean tables, definitely add it to your cleansing, your cleaning properties. So just add it in there. It's going to obviously have that nice, citrus uplifting smell about it, but obviously the properties will make a difference as well. Inhale room sprays, obviously room sprays, lovely to walk into that, and just don't be shy about using it. You can use it in the laundry, just so many ways. It's such a versatile oil alongside with all the other citrus oils, but it's really good for the digestion as well and metabolic rate. And that was what I had.
I love it. I love that DIY. I've taken a photo of the screen and I thought, oh, I definitely need to try those. Thank you, Jennie.
Pleasure.
Can't make them live, right? We can't do that live, but I reckon we've all got the idea. You've left us a good taste in our mouth from the photos. Thank you, Jennie. All right, so we're now going to dig into our main topic today, which is, oh, it says the wrong name. Sorry, it's Lindsay, Wendy, and Nikki for the main topic. This is an older slide, sorry. And so we're going to dive into gut health because gut health is the foundation of everything. Gut and sleep. Between those two, I reckon we could pretty much solve most issues, wouldn't we? I can see Jennie nodding, which is always a good thing from a homeopath. When you have the nod of approval from Jennie, you're good. And Wendy too. My gosh, I've got the double. So with those two aspects of our health are so key. So we really want to dive into gut. So I'm going to hand over to Wendy to start us off.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. I will try and reduce this down, and I know Nikki's come on with an amazing segment on the enzymes. So this is really just the main points, because we could do 2 hours, as Lindsay said. Digestion is so important, and really it's involved in everything. It's involved in everything and all the processes, but we're just going to narrow it down just a little bit and outline why it's a little bit important. And for anyone that doesn't know, I have a background in nursing, and I had a little girl. Why I started oils was, she had all these allergies and histamines and autoimmune stuff going on and a poor immune system. And I was didn't matter that I was an ICU nurse and I had all this medical knowledge and medical experience. It kind of just, unless you really look at it as a whole and holistically, all the medical stuff didn't help me after many years of trying. And it's only when I started looking at it myself and when I involved the digestive system and really started looking at things from the inside out, the digestive system was so key in solving a lot of the issues that she struggled with that we thought was just eczema, but really when we dug deeper, it were all connected with the digestive system. And all of the things that I mentioned now, were probably connected in some way, even with her as a young child. She's 13 now, but this was when she was 6, 7. So digestion, it's really, really important for nutrient absorption. So we can take all the best foods, eat the brilliant diet and not be absorbing what we need to absorb from our foods if our gut is not healthy. So when we have a healthy gut, it helps break down those nutrients and then it will work more efficiently. So that ensures your body will get all those vitamins, all those minerals, all those things that it needs to produce the energy that it needs to do. So it needs to be working well, not just give it the food. So we need it to be working very well. So immune system support was huge in our case. My daughter used to take a lot of antibiotics, a lot of steroids, so her immune system was very, very poor because of the damage that was doing to her digestive system. So around 70% of your immune system is housed in your gut. Like, that's huge. It's huge when we think about it. So we really need to balance the microbiome in the gut to regulate that immune response and reduce the inflammation. And anyone who ever listens to me speak, I am always raving about inflammation. It is the most common factor in anything I think that exists in the human body. So inflammation, so it helps reduce inflammation and protects against infections. Again, I link it back. In our case, my daughter was always getting sick. She was always needing antibiotics, and then they would work, and then they would fix the infection that was there and kill all the bacteria, but I would damage all the gut while we were doing that. And then her immune system was very poor. So the next time she was exposed to a bacteria, her own digestive system didn't have her healthy bacteria to fight that. Okay, so that's where it's involved in the infection and immune side of things. And then mental health. Sometimes you hear about the digestive system as like your third brain, and that's where this comes from. So the gut-brain axis connects your gut to your brain. So it can influence mood, anxiety, your thinking, brain fog, your cognitive function. So an imbalance in the physical gut bacteria sometimes can be very much linked to depression and anxiety. And sometimes when people come and talk to me and things, and it's slow mood. And yes, the oils are amazing and diffusing is amazing, but sometimes as a foundation, I will suggest lifelong vitality for them so they can get all that gut working properly, to suggest enzymes for them, suggest probiotics for them, because over time, when you help heal all of those from the inside out, more serotonin is produced, and you end up, your mental health and your mood is definitely improved, and it's much better. So that's what the gut brain link connection is there, and that's very well researched and very well published about it. Weight management. So gut bacteria helps regulate fat storage and metabolism. So again, if there's an imbalance there can be fluctuations in weight gain or weight loss, or some people can find it difficult, and it can go either way. It's not always weight gain. Lots of people can lose weight and not be able to keep on weight and maintain a healthy weight as well. So it depends. It can work both ways. And then chronic disease. Anything chronic, again, the foundation a lot of the time can be linked back to the digestive health. So poor gut health is linked to so many, like I think you could probably name any disease. There's a couple of them mentioned down there, like diabetes, heart disease, autoimmune. There are so many autoimmune disorders, so many of them. And there are more being developed and more being recognized as autoimmune conditions, that used to be really unusual and never heard of. They're becoming much more common now. So again, if we help balance the digestive system, we can help maybe reduce the risk of these, or even manage them a little bit more, or stop them developing. And then energy and sleep. So energy is huge when it comes to the digestive system. If your digestive system is not functioning properly, and I know Nicky will probably touch a good bit on this with the enzymes after me here, you will not be able to produce that energy. If you're not breaking down your food, it can't do all these chemical processes, which at the end results is energy. And then also as well, sleep. We touched a little bit on sleep, but it can be related to a healthy gut. Can influence your energy levels, but also influence your sleep. So by producing the serotonin, which is our nice happy hormone, and it influences the neurotransmitters as well. So it's all connected. It's connected with that brain, it's connected physically, and it's connected emotionally as well. And then skin health. This was huge in our family. Again, I mentioned eczema. I thought that was my daughter's problem. And that was just the presenting problem. That was just it on the outside. Her skin was presenting. So that was her body's way of telling us there's something going on the inside. And when we weren't getting to the bottom of it, when I really got to the end, the deep down with her eczema and stuff, digestive health is absolutely huge for her. So it's not about just putting lotions and potions on the skin on the outside. You really need to look at the digestive health. So there's a huge link between gut and skin connection. Anything like eczema, psoriasis, any kind of skin conditions really, sometimes just any kind of irritants in the skin. There's just sometimes the digestive system telling us. I can tell if I've been away for a little while, and my daughter hasn't been very good, and she knows now the Terrazymes, which Nicky will tell you about, will really help with help breaking down. Gluten is one of the main ones, and dairy. But I can tell if she's had lots of gluten and dairy by just looking at her tummy, because I can nearly see the eczema. The skin gets really inflamed in a little shape, and it'll nearly follow the digestive tract, the large intestine or the small one. So after a couple of days, it starts to come out and become inflamed on the inside. So it means two things: she hasn't been using her Terrazymes, and she's been eating too much gluten and dairy on top of that as well. So just some little things to look out for there. So then the next one, onto that then is the warning signs, like exactly what I was saying there. There's some red flags. So like with Ellie, I know I can see her skin is starting to flare up. That's the red flags that her digestive system is not happy in our house. Other people might experience things like bloating, constipation. It can actually be also diarrhea for some people. It can be one or the other. Any kind of heartburn, acid reflux. These are all little signs, and they aren't the problem. There is a problem causing these symptoms. Okay, so you need to get to the root of it. These are just your body's way of telling you. Leaky gut, I think, was unheard of maybe 10, 15 years ago. Now, even normal, a lot of people know what leaky gut is. And it's when the cells, again, we're right back down to a single cell. When they become damaged in the digestive system, they start to not function properly. So they're leaking. And when I say they're leaking, they don't have their protective barrier. So again, your immune system comes into play, and it starts starts to not be able to break down and do its enzyme functions and things like that. Gastritis, skin issues, headaches even can be very much related to digestive systems, intolerances. So a lot of people think they're allergic to certain foods. A lot of the time it's an intolerance. So they just need help with maybe things like Terrazyme to break them down, and allergies, of course, because it's producing a histamine. Your digestive system is flaring up. It's trying to calm it all back down, and it's producing a histamine response, which results in allergies, but really it's something deeper going on in the gut. So other things, outside things that can cause them, and then our antibiotics, and some side effects of different medications, any kind of pesticides, processed foods can be irritate the lining of the digestive system, and then stress and anxiety. Now, when I say stress and anxiety, I mean chronic stress and anxiety. Like, stress is good on a short-term basis. It's your fight or flight. It protects you. But on a long-term basis, stress and anxiety is not good, because your cells are going to become inflamed. Your body wants to bring down that stress, so it's all the time fighting. So all those levels, all those chemicals remain elevated, and they're going to affect your digestive system. Sometimes, like your digestive system, some people get, if they're really stressed, they might need to go to the toilet a lot. They might feel like, oh my God, I need to go to the bathroom. That's your body giving you a little clue, your digestive system kicking in to fight or flight mode. That's okay on a short-term basis. But if you're running and racing and you're stressed and anxious all the time, it is not good for your system. Okay. And then you've got environmental factors. So that's why we're all toxins. That's why Janine spoke about reducing toxins, getting rid of toxins, having limonene in your water. They can all disrupt it. So we'll probably have a toxic-free living. I'm sure we can do a full evening on that alone, just to help reduce chemicals in our system. It's something we can have a lot of control of. There's so many things we don't have control of, but in our own house is a really good place to start, and to just try and start reducing the toxins in our environment. Lack of sleep. Sleep has come in there again as a disruptor against the digestive system. And then just in general, not a good lifestyle is another one. So I just move on to the next one. Oh, I touched a little bit on this a few minutes ago. Have we missed a slide, the acute inflammation one? I don't even need to say much about it, but it's nearly the same thing. Like acute short-term stress, again, will be acute inflammation. It's your body's way of trying to protect you. It's absolutely fine on a short-term basis for things like allergies, chemical irritants, infections, trauma, burns, lacerations, frostbite. They're all acute. They happen suddenly. But when these things are going on long-term, it's the long-term inflammation that causes really the damage on the inside. So any of the long-term diseases, neurological, autoimmune, arthritis, cancers, fibromyalgias, chronic syndrome, chronic tiredness, fatigue, those chronic inflammations are the ones that cause issues. So what can we do about it? There's just different ways to support a balanced gut. We have lots of oils and products that we can help you learn how to use. Just about detoxifying your gut. You can take pre and probiotics. You can eat a healthy diet, drink lots of water. I think should be up there, because I need to remind myself every day about drinking water, extra water, and exercise regularly. So it's not just one thing by itself. Combination of all these really will do the job. So to detoxify your gut, I won't go over this again because Janine has already touched on it really lovely about the limonene in your water. So remove the toxins that threaten your own gut flora, that threaten your good bacteria that's in your digestive system. And all those oils, they're like your lemon, your grapefruit, your green mandarin, and everyone is going to have Clementine now after this month's product of the month. So it's a really good way. Just get it into your water to break down any toxins and get rid of them. Use natural detox cell supporting agents like those citrus oils in your water every day. You can put them in capsules if you don't want to drink them as well, but it's really, really good, and they support your gut health. You can, if you want to do a mini cleanse, do the oregano in little veggie caps. I'd recommend maybe 2 drops in a veggie cap twice a day, but you wouldn't really do that for any more than 10 days. Oregano is not a really good one to be taking all on a long-term basis, because again, it's quite strong, it's quite potent. So yes, you can do it and do it regularly, but you need to give your digestive system breaks in between. Or we have our GX Assist, which is a capsule with it already in it, but there are other oils in there as well. And that's like a little mini cleanse. You can do 10 days of GX Assist and then follow on by probiotics as well to help restore your digestive flora in your gut as well. And I think, are you going to speak a little bit about probiotics, Lindsay?
Yeah, absolutely. Although Wendy's already kind of thrown in the importance of these probiotics, which I love. So we have this PB Assist and PB Assist Junior. And the bonus with these is that we have prebiotics and probiotics. And the prebiotics are going to feed the probiotics so that they are strong, healthy probiotics by the time they get to your gut. So that's really important, because otherwise, obviously, they are living organisms. So if they don't have a fuel of some kind, then they will not be strong or alive. So we want to have some prebiotics in there as well. So the importance of these probiotics, Wendy's highlighted this beautifully, so I won't go into it again, but it can have such a big impact on so many aspects. And I keep discovering new impact and new ways that we can benefit from it. This has now become a non-negotiable in our house for our 3 children and all of us. We have it in a cup on the side. They have the little sachet. We have the tablet ones, but they're like veggie caps. They're very pretty, actually, if you haven't seen them, with a little bit of green inside. And so we've just this is to support every aspect that Wendy's already covered. So probiotics are a really, really important part of being able to feed that good gut bacteria. And the thing to remember with probiotics is that you may come across those little yogurts. I won't mention any names. Those little yogurts that have lovely, lovely, they're really yummy. More like a yogurt is probably the better name for it, a liquid yogurt, than a probiotic. It tastes really nice and you feel like you're doing something good. Some of them will have some good bacteria, but usually it's 1 or 2 strains. And so you don't really have a lot of variety. And the body loves variety, right? We really thrive on variety, whether it's variety of food, variety of essential oils around us, variety of environment, and variety of probiotics. And so we really want lots of different strains as well as absorbable strains. There is actually a new product that's coming. I'm not sure exactly when, but when you do see it arriving, it's absolutely, it's gold dust. It's called PB Restore, which is an even step above the PB Assist. So we've been loving PB Assist for years, and now we've got a step above that, which also has postbiotics, which we'll go into once it is available for us in Europe. But we're able to have this huge variety and in this absorbable format. So we really, really love having the probiotics. Now, probiotics in capsules is not the only way you can get probiotics. Here's Sabrina here, star of the show, making some sauerkraut. So this was a workshop we did at our house a few months ago, and we're making sauerkraut. And it's actually really, really easy to, really, really easy to make it. So it's just the vegetables, whatever vegetables you would like, with some salt, and then you kind of malax it. And it's really, really, I love it. I love sauerkraut. It's full of those live cultures, those active cultures of bacteria that can really feed your gut. So there's a whole range of them. What you're looking for is live, active cultures. So you don't want the kind of the ones that you might see on shelves in lots and lots of types that are not live. They're just kind of natural yogurt, but not live natural yogurt. So we want to have those live ones. So there's a few different ways that you can get some probiotics in lots. Again, we want variety, so definitely vary your fun with probiotics. The next thing, and this is one of the funnest parts of it, and this is one of my favorite ways, is to have prepped salad jars or salad pots, because we know that it takes more time to eat healthily, right? It's so much faster to go and grab some processed rubbish and shove it in our mouths than to prepare a lovely, balanced, healthy meal. And so we need to do things that are going to allow us to do that, even though we have a busy schedule, even though we're managing, whatever we're managing, children and for some of you, probably grandchildren, and there's all sorts going on. Or a busy work life. And so we need to find ways to do this. And I love this strategy because it stays really nice and fresh. And then I always have to have a dressing, which I'll share my recipe with in a minute. I always have to have a dressing. To me, salad is not a salad without a dressing. So I absolutely love being able to add oils to my dressing as well. But you want to eat that variety, eat the rainbow, because we're not just getting enzymes again from what Nicky's going to tell us about. We're getting enzymes from our food as well. And all of those different colors within our food are giving us different phytonutrients. So again, we're going to really thrive on that. So try to see how many colors you can include in your food. The challenge is how many, actually my stepmother, her objective for every meal is how many vegetables can we get into this meal? And so she'll just chuck in all sorts of things, and they'll have as many vegetables as they can, and that's going to really help us. The other thing with having whole foods rather than always smoothies or other things like that is that we want to have those whole foods so that you get the fiber as well. So fiber is so essential to making sure that their things are still moving, as well as slowing down the absorption of glucose within our gut. So if we are ever I just realized there's a thing on there about Thursday. Um, if we are ever having something sweet, we want to have some vegetables, some whole foods beforehand. So it's going to slow down how quickly that glucose is absorbed. So it reduces that glucose spike. So it makes it a longer, flatter curve. So this is another way to really support our gut, because our gut does not like the high glucose spikes that we might get from that. I did mention I was going to share that salad dressing, but I will come back to that. So we've mentioned a few times these digestive enzymes, and this is again one of our heavy usage products for the whole family, because there's some intolerances within our children as well. And so these are some of the key digestive enzymes that we get within Terrazyme. And I'm not going to talk about this because Nicky has some beautiful information to share with you. I'm going to hand over to Nicky, and first starting with your own experience. Is that okay, Nicky?
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. So yeah, I just really want to share my own experience. I had so many digestion issues. I was on the traditional medication at that time, and I read about the risks, and I decided overnight no longer was I going to take it. But of course, then I needed to find something that was going to help me. And that's where I found Terrazyme. And believe me, Terrazyme comes with me everywhere. I don't like not having Terrazyme with me. My kids know that if I get a digestion issue, which I have to say is quite rare now, they know straight away to go to the cupboard and find Terrazyme at home to be able to support me. So I want to share a bit more about Terrazyme and what it can do for you. So we all need enzymes within our bodies. It's to help us with digestion, our bloodstream, liver, kidneys, spleen, pancreas, the immune system, our ability to see, think, feel, and breathe. It's so, so important, these enzymes. But why do we need them? You know, maybe you're thinking, well, the body should have enough enzymes. Well, when you get past about 30, which I think most of us on the call are here, you start to reduce those enzymes down and they disappear. So we've got to increase the enzymes in our body. Lifestyle. We all know now, you know, a lot of people busy grabbing things, as Lindsay was saying, you know, you grab that processed food. It's not necessarily good for us. We want to make sure that we're looking at nutrition. Stress in this crazy world that we're in, stress is high, and that decreases the enzymes within the body as well. And they're also killed at high temperature. Many of you might not know that. So you think, oh, I'm eating loads of vegetables, but if you're literally stewing all those vegetables down, you're getting rid of the enzymes. So I thought about this when I was looking at this presentation. When I was a child, I used to not like eating my lunch at school. My grandma lived down the road. So really quite scary. At the age of 4 or 5, I used to run from school. They used to let me out at lunchtime, and I used to run quite a few meters down the road to my grandma's house. Yeah, the school just let me go, and I'd have lunch at my grandma's house. And when I finished my lunch, I'd go into her garage where she had her fruit and vegetables, and I'd pick out 2 or 3 Brussels sprouts, and I'd bring them in. I'd get her to wash the Brussels sprouts, and I'd eat them raw. So I've always been known as somebody that loves to eat raw vegetables. And maybe I was looking to add my enzymes back then. So I absolutely loved raw vegetables, and I still do now. So if you can, maybe if you're cooking the veg, try not to cook it as much and make it really soggy. Try and leave those carrots a little bit hard so you've got a bit more enzymes in it. But why are they low, and how can we help it? So we can have the Terrazyme in the mornings. You know, think about what you're going to eat in that day. So certain days should be like, oh, actually, I'm going out with family and friends and my diet's not going to be good. So you can take 1 capsule, which will help maximize the nutrients in your food. So if you're eating processed food, there's probably not going to be much nutrients in that. So you want to be trying to add a salad or add some veg into what you're doing as well. You can take 2 or 3 capsules with your meal. If you know you're going out for a heavy meal, pizzas, burgers, those things, make sure you're taking some extra capsules. And also, if you can take it 30 minutes before food, that is beneficial. Now, we all know that doesn't always work, but if you can think about trying to take it, maybe have it in the kitchen where you're cooking, and then you can take those capsules. Now, I wish I'd known this when I had my kids when they were really young. All of my kids had reflux problems. So for reflux, you can put a little bit of the capsule into your baby milk. If you're breastfeeding, you could put it around your breast. You just need to be very careful with it. Put a little bit onto the baby's tongue. You know, you only need a tiny bit of the capsule. Now, there's quite a lot in the capsule because sometimes I pour the capsules out. So you only need a tiny little bit. Or if you are weaning them, you can put it into their porridge or apple puree, etc. So that would just help with the digestion. And honestly, I've seen some amazing results with mums that have done this and really helped their little ones. Again, the same for constipation. What the Terrazyme will do, it will break down your food, and then you can help get it out of your body, because we don't want any of that. You don't want to get constipated, because then the toxins are in the body and things are not functioning very well. So take the Terrazyme, and that's going to help. If you are struggling, we do have other products as well. So like the Zendocrine and things, reach out to your wellness advocate and they can help you. So as well as having digestive enzymes in the body, we also have metabolic enzymes as well. Now, first of all, if you start eating, your body's got to break that down. So it'll start working on the digestive enzymes. And if you're poorly, have you ever heard starve a fever? So if you've ever heard that, it means don't eat heavy meals, because what happens is your body is starting to break down that heavy food rather than letting your body repair at that point in time. So that's why we always say, go for something that's light, that you're able to eat at that point in time. Don't go on those heavy meals. It will help within the body, and it will help with your energy too. So just take them on a regular basis. I know how easy it is to forget, but just try and take them, because you're going to feel so much better for it. Now, if you eat them on an empty stomach, this is when something totally different will happen. And I remember Becky Bowles saying this: take 2 Terrazymes before you go to bed, because they'll act as a cleaner within the body. Because it's not got, well, hopefully you've not eaten food just before you go to bed. So as long as you've got an empty stomach, it will start cleaning through the blood overnight. So, and help combat inflammation. Now, I'm sure we've all got inflammation in our bodies. So take 2 Terrazyme, just put a bottle by your bed. When you've got an empty bottle and you've got a new one, put half of them into that bottle and then put them by your bed. So you've got them. So as you go off the bed, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I must remember to take those Terrazymes. Okay, so they're going to help break down the fatty plaques from your arteries and your veins as well. Now, this one I found really interesting: healing from the inside and out. So if you've got some scar tissue, the enzymes will eat away at the scar tissue and help with healing of it. So if you've ever hurt yourself, take your Terrazyme. Actually, it's a bit like frankincense, isn't it? It always say use frankincense. It's like, take Terrazyme. You know, you need to be adding that in to your daily diet. Now, I think this was a problem for me: low stomach acidity. Yeah, so that's when you'll get digestion issues worse. And when I have problems with my digestion, I generally don't take a capsule now. I'll get some yogurt, and I'll get my husband, or if I'm in a lot of discomfort, I'll say, can you open the Terrazyme and put it into the yogurt for me? And then I stir it around, and then I just take it, and that acts so much quicker for me. So Terrazyme, like I say, have to come everywhere. But I did it with my dad the other day. He was having a lot of digestion problems, and I said, look, just put the capsule, let's open the capsule, put it into the yogurt, and then just spoon it in. So then you haven't got the worry, if you've got that pain of the digestion, to have to take your capsule. So when your stomach acid is low, your body goes into panic and creates a high histamine to trigger the stomach acid. But as we all know, that's not good for the body. So you want to take these Terrazyme. I can't say it to any more than this. You know, studies show that 80% of children have, with breathing difficulties, have low stomach acid. So think about the same again with hay fever and things like that too. Now, this also is really interesting: head tension. Who would think taking Terrazyme is going to help your head tension? Well, it does. It's really, really good. So take 2 Terrazymes before your breakfast. Now, actually, today, I've actually done that because I've had a really heavy head today. Don't know if it's the atmosphere, hormones, etc. So I took 2 extra Terrazyme just to help clear my head, as well as using various different oils. And then 2 before bed. Remember that again. Put them by your bed and remember to take them. Terrazyme helps with muscles, joints, injuries. I remember listening to Becky Bowles, and it was absolutely fascinating how we can use Terrazyme in so many ways. And also after surgery, we've seen some great results from people once they've recovered much quicker by taking the Terrazyme before and after your surgery. So everybody, if you've not got Terrazyme in, I don't want to say it because I don't want it to go out of stock, but make sure you've got Terrazyme on your next order, and take it on a regular basis. Thanks, Lindsay.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Nikki. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. So following on from so we've looked after our gut, we've got all of the digestive enzymes and the probiotics, and now this is our fifth step and final step is that we really do need to get our body moving every single day because moderate physical activity increases those probiotic populations, and so we want everything to be moving. It's also going to physically help with peristalsis, which is the movement of our food through our gut. So we're going to be just helping to move everything around. So always making sure that you've got some way, whether it's a walk, a run, Pilates, whatever, swimming, just find the one that works for you, and get your body moving. So I did say I would share my little salad dressing recipe. Now, I will be honest, if these are not accurate. These are not precise, I would say, measurements. So chuck stuff in. Love what Jennie said, is just kind of play and explore. That's what your dressing can look like. But I absolutely love my dressing. So do try this one out and then make it your own. Make it really lovely. And then this is chia seed yogurt. This is what I often use as breakfast, actually. Sometimes I do have it for lunch on the go, and it's just milk, some sort of vegetable milk, with chia seeds, and then let it soak. So it's kind of an alternative to overnight oats. I just don't put oats in there, and then chuck in a few bits and bobs that just, I find it really, really nice. And it's full of calcium and protein, and it's just really loaded with goodness with those chia seeds. Now, obviously, and Wendy's already mentioned this, the Lifelong Vitality Pack. I'm not going to dive into this necessarily today because we've mentioned a lot of information, and we will definitely come back to Lifelong Vitality because it's such a core aspect of all of our health. But this just gives you a little, just whets your appetite, and hopefully allows you to see why we rave about it so much. I've just spotted it's in euros. So can you remind me of the price, Nikki? Is it 80? I always forget the price because it's just on our basket, so it won't, the price may vary and it will still stay in our basket.
£80.50 in the UK.
£80.50 in the UK, thank you. And so we have a huge amount of goodness going onto that basket. So just in summary, to really, really support your gut, we want to cleanse. So just like we would our houses, clean out the bad stuff. Put in the good stuff, the probiotics, the prebiotics, through food and the extra supplementation. Nourish those probiotics with prebiotics, again, through that supplementation and food. Have that varied, healthy diet with your balanced supplementation like Lifelong Vitality and Terrazyme, and always exercising regularly. So just to remind you about the October promotions. So we've mentioned some of them, not all of them. This daily conditioner is, again, also 10% off. But I think the biggest ones we've absolutely mentioned. So now we just want to finally get to some more testimonials. We would love to hear, whether it's questions or testimonials, if you've had some experiences either this week, this month, this year, if it's a question or something that you've experienced. Often when we have good experiences, whether it's a restaurant or a cake or whatever it is, or a recipe, we want to share it, and we would absolutely love to hear from you. So if anyone would like to share, please pop your little Zoom hand up or wave on screen, and we would absolutely love to hear from you. Bon appétit, Natalie. Lovely to see you. I've just stopped sharing and you've popped up in front of me. But we'd absolutely love to hear from you. Debbie. All right, go for it, Debbie.
Hiya.
Hi, Debbie.
I just wanted to share. I used the helichrysum roll-on. My daughter, she has epilepsy, and we've had a few issues with her. She's had 4 seizures over the last few months, and the last one she had, unfortunately, was due to a dose of her epilepsy pills, and she experienced for the first time a tonic-clonic seizure on her own. And the tonic-clonic is she goes rigid and she jerks, and she'd fallen onto the carpet, so across her eyebrow she had this great big carpet burn. Looked a hell of a lot more dramatic than, well, it was dramatic for her, but to people seeing it, it was like, wow, what have you done? And I didn't put it on, well, I was putting it around the edge of the scab, and then the scab fell off, and then I really went to town with it, and it is healed beautifully. And it's interesting because I wasn't so persistent with because she had one on a ball of her ankle as well, and I wasn't so persistent with that one, and that one's bright red, still glowing. So it just shows you how the helichrysum has helped the healing. and I've been using it on my son as well. But I've mixed it with myrrh and what's the other one? Tea tree myrrh and helichrysum for a roll-on that I've made for my son for he's got a big scar on his arm where he's just had surgery. So we're using it. I've made that roll-on and I'm using that for him. So the helichrysm's just amazed me. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. It's exactly what we love hearing. So exciting. Thank you so much, Debbie. I hope she's okay. I hope the ankle can heal as well as the head now. So that's lovely. Thank you. Carol Ann, I just saw your hand as well. We'd love to hear.
As I'm pushing my comfort zones, this is embarrassing, but just going to share it anyway. One of my kind of big ones is with Zenjess. That's another powerful experience for me. I used to fear flying, not an aeroplane, because I would be troubled with uncontrollable flatulence. So you can imagine that'd be really, really embarrassing. I would dread that. Since using that, it just made such a massive kind of difference. And now I don't dread it so much flying in a plane. So yeah, just to share that.
That's amazing. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. That's a massive step out of your comfort zone. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you very much. Anyone else have any experiences they wanted to share? Actually, speaking of travel, I was on my way to Greece, actually, there was a lady next to me. And you know, kind of out of your corner of your eye, I could see her kind of gripping the lady next to her's hand as we were taking off. And I'm just sorting out my liquids bag, and which obviously is full of essential oils. That's pretty much the only thing in that bag. And I'm kind of sorting this and putting that in there. And I kind of glanced to the side and I thought, oh, I have got something here. So wild orange came out, and put it on all of us, so it wasn't strange for her. So I kind of demonstrated what to do with it. And then we got chatting, and actually it was so lovely to see her visibly just kind of go, ah. And stop gripping. So it was brilliant. It was really, really good. It was just lovely to be able to do something for her, and actually just gave it to her. And I thought, well, I do love my wild orange, but never mind, she needs it more. But it was really, really lovely to be able to do that on the plane as well. Go for it, Wendy. Love to hear from you.
Hiya. I was with an elderly gentleman that I know, and he'd cut his hand. And because of the meds he was on, it wasn't healing, it kept bleeding. So I said, oh, let's try a little bit of my Correct-X that I'd got on me. We put that on. The next time I saw him was probably 3 or 4 days later. And he said, Wendy, he said, look at my hand, it stopped bleeding, it's healed up. I'm so amazed. He actually then went on and bought a Correct-X off me.
Absolutely, well, you'd want it, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
so cool.
I love it. I love Correct-X. I use it all the time.
So good. It's all of those expensive oils actually, but they're all in this little cream, so it's a brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah, helichrysum. That's for the bleeding. Obviously, it's got helichrysum in, and lavender and cedarwood, and yeah, it's great.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Wendy. Nat, go on then, Nat.
I gave my Correct-X away today too. Bo was sitting, he's resits at the exam centre, and the exams officer came out with her thumb all bandaged up, and she went to move a chair and grimaced. I was like, are you okay? She said, oh, my dog's had a bit of a scuffle last night, and her thumb got in the middle of it and was shredded a little. So I was like, oh, do you want some Correct-X? Because it's amazing. Like you said, it's such a powerhouse. You've got helichrysum, lavender, cedarwood, tea tree and frankincense all in this little ointment, and you can use it on open wounds as well. So it's just amazing. But we've had many success. We never go anywhere without frankincense in a Correct-X in our handbag. But I was quite happy to give it to her because they're quite reasonably priced. So I've got a few at home.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Yeah. Another good reason.
They're only about £12 for the little tube, aren't they?
Yeah. Exactly.
You only need a tiny bit.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I love that. Thanks, Nat. Teresa, I can see your little electronic hand.
Yes, mine's just going back to a very, very basic oil that everybody loves. Lavender. So the other day I was making some, doing mashed potatoes for tea, and as I was scooping out the boiled potatoes out the pressure cooker, I didn't have any socks or anything on my feet, and one of the potatoes sort of fell and landed on my foot. And of course, because it was obviously a bit mushy and just out of the pan, it was red hot, but I couldn't get rid of it. It was stuck to my foot, and I had my other hands full. So I was like kicking my foot, trying to get this blooming potato off my foot, shouting. My husband came through, what the hell's going on? And said, it's bloody potato on my foot. So we've got the potato off, and I could feel my skin starting to tingle, that burning sensation. Immediately put the lavender on. Lasted about 5 minutes, this tingly burning sensation. Then it just totally disappeared. No scarring, no redness, no blistering. I just love lavender. I absolutely love it.
That's so good. That's so good. Sorry, I've suddenly gone dark. Let's hand over to someone else. I've suddenly just gone dark, but hopefully you can still see. Jennie, go, Jennie.
Yes, well, I was going to follow up with the lavender. So burns again. So I too love lavender for burns. And I actually burnt my pincher fingers the other day and they blistered. And normally I can get to it before they blistered, but the burn was that bad. Anyway, I did get the lavender on straight away and they did blister. But I noticed the next day the blister had cleared and there was literally no pain. That's how quickly, and I mean I had to apply the lavender a couple of times, but that's how quickly it worked. Yeah, so for burns, it never ceases to amaze me, lavender. And then often my other thing is peppermint on top of that because it's cooling. If you think your skin's inflamed and sore and hot, I often put peppermint on top as well, but not on this occasion. But
To take the heat out. That's so good.
yeah.
Sorry, I am still here. Hold on. I'm coming back. There's a lovely testimonial there from Wendy. Would you mind reading out Roisin's one actually, so everyone can hear it, just in case?
Yeah.
There we go. We're back in the room.
No problem. So yeah, Roisin messaged me a while back about her little son. She was having a lot of problems with her son's toenail, and I think she'd had 2 antibiotics at this stage, and it wasn't getting any better, and it looked quite nasty in the picture. So she did what I recommended. So she used lemon, lavender, oregano, frank, tea tree every night, and the inflammation went down so much that I could remove the nail from the bed. It took a few months of soaking and applying, but he'd had 2 antibiotics with no joy. That was her little son, I think, who didn't like her doing any of this at the start. He was quite sensitive at this stage with his toenails. So it was good. I think, yeah, it was good to see that the oils worked instead of having to go any further.
That's so good. Thank you, Roisin, for sharing. Thanks for reading that out, Wendy. Well, I would love absolutely. This is, I think, my favorite part of it. So if we can reduce the length of the rest of the call and have more of this, I would love that. So anyone who would like to share every month, this is my favorite. So please do. And we'd love to hear more from you for next month. So next month, as I said, the main core theme will be sleep. And it's the first Monday of every month. So put that in your diary, first Monday of every month at 7:30. And we would love to see you there. And if you'd like to actually share in the main part of it, just drop me a message on Facebook. And it doesn't matter what it is. We'd love to hear from you. So just drop me a little message if you'd like to kind of be brave and share something on the main call. That'd be really lovely. So lovely to see so many of you, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you to everyone who's shared tonight, whether it's a testimonial or lovely knowledge and experience. It's been really, I've loved it. So I hope you have too. So enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Lindsay. Night.
Good night. Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, Nikki. And thank you, Caroline. That was brilliant.
Night. Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.